All right, good girls, we're back. It's SJ and K with another mini episode on AI writing our smut for us. And it's not coming for our jobs anytime soon, but we decided to try our hand at having some AI generated prompts to see how terrible or ridiculous or promising they might be for an actual human author. And Kay, in her first foray into romance writing, has also had, was it Grok? Did Grok write your sex scenes for you?
Yes, I had Grok write my sex scene for me, and
Yeah, and
I
we
thought that it wasn't bad, but again, just speaking of ethics, it drew off of Jessica Kane, so it wasn't bad because it knew what I wanted, and it already had somebody who created all that to draw on.
yeah. So we will not be putting these out for profit on Kindle Unlimited because we don't want to steal from the authors who have authored all of our favorite smut and serve as the foundations of our good girl book reviews. Okay, why don't you jump in with some of your prompts?
So, I said that I wanted a seven-page sex scene, and I wanted it boss secretary, and I wanted it to have heavy Jessica Kane vibes, and I have to say, I really enjoyed what they gave me. There was a nice build up. And they it said all the classic things. Like when he was going down on her, he's like, "You're dripping down my chin, baby. So fucking sweet. Come for me right now." We all know that men always say that when they're going down on you. So fucking sweet.
Obviously, the men
Yeah.
in my favorite read.
And then also when she unzips his belt, his cock sprang free, thick,
Oh, that's
long.
definitely cocks do spring free always.
They just Um, thick, long, and brutally hard, the head already slick with pre-cum. She moaned at the sight. Yeah, and then he goes, "That's
That
it.
does sound
Suck
like a
your
romance
boss's cock."
novel.
Yeah, like the perfect little secretary you are. His hips rocked forward, fucking her mouth with controlled thrusts. "You've been driving me insane. Every time you bent over to file something, I wanted to bend you over my desk and ruin this tight cunt." So, I mean, again, this
Yeah,
sounds like what
this
I
sounds like.
read. Not all
So
the
how do
time.
you feel like it did with the build up and the progression? Or was it more I heard a thing especially with Grok as like Grok is easier to convince to write very smutty sex scenes, but that Grok doesn't really understand the building towards the climax, both narrative and sexual. And that is a lot more just like straight to the
Well,
penetration.
I don't wanna do Grok dirty because I Grok can't help what I didn't not that I need to be a defender of Grok, but I did say that it had to be 7 pages because I didn't personally wanna read, 30 to 40 pages of Grok drafted smut, but I thought that the scene did okay within
Is there some
7
foreplay?
pages. There is, I mean, a little bit of foreplay. Her fingers trembled as she straightened the stack of contracts on Mr. Voss's mahogany desk. I mean, if that's not foreplay for you, I don't know what is, SJ.
That's probably as
Yeah,
close as her boss is gonna get to doing some foreplay on her anyway, since
yeah.
obviously she has to be a good secretary and suck his cock.
I mean, his voice rolled over her like dark velvet. She turned slowly. Yeah, so that's, pretty hot. 6'4" of carved muscle and ruthless power, with sharp cheekbones and eyes the color of midnight. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I've like read exactly that in 70 different books. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, I mean, I guess with how prolific Jessica Kane is, you could really just average together a bunch of lines from specifically Jessica Kane books and spit out this.
And Jessica Kane, I want to be clear. I definitely don't think you're AI because an AI never would have thrown that goddamn trampoline party happily ever after between like the grandpa and his granddaughter's friend. That was the oddest thing ever. And there's no way AI would have gone there. So you're safe as far
Yeah.
as I'm concerned. Yeah, we also got nipples pebbling. That's a big thing in a lot of
Uh,
romance books that the nipples
yeah.
pebble. I always picture like little stones on nipples when they say that. It doesn't personally work for
Yeah.
me, but it is common. So
Yeah.
again, I would go ahead and say, yeah, it passes if I read it in the middle of a book. I don't know. I think I was more doing it more for like study purposes than I was like, I'm in the mood right now, so I'm gonna like sit and read and be like, there. But
If you needed to,
if there was
you
like
could.
20 chapters beforehand of build up and tension, I probably would have been excited for that. But as we said, like the tension's kind of an important part of it.
Yeah, and that human connection leading up to it. Although I think that maybe something that this could be an okay stand-in for is, like, if you're talking about a true romance novel where there's sex in it and it may be open door and it may be closed door, it may be more explicit or less, that I think that that is a harder thing for AI to take over because that's much more about the slow burn and the human connection and the quirkiness. Versus if you are just writing short stories of porn smut kind of stuff, first of all, you need way less plot development. The human connection thing is not necessarily a huge part of it. It's kinda like when you watch porn, like, there's only so many possible plot lines that are gonna happen in something that short that is mainly focused on just unhinged sex acts.
So I asked Grok, for an author, what are the top 10 ways to describe a penis? Here are the top 10 ways to describe a penis in smut. Here's a curated list. So, first is thick
Thanks, Grok.
and girth focused. You got to emphasize stretch and the fullness. Second is
But not
veined.
using the word girth. I think you have to avoid the actual word girth.
His thick cock stretched her open. She wrapped her fingers around his impressive width, marveling at how
Or
full her hand felt.
she can't
Yeah,
wrap her hand all the way around it is the bigger one, or can't get 2
yeah.
hands around it if he's like a, romantasy centaur of some sort.
Yeah, Grok missed that. Number 2 is veined and textured. Thick veins
Ooh,
pulsed along the length of his rigid cock, mapping a
is that
roadmap of
something is
period.
is a
Yeah.
veiny cock something that the readers want?
I hate that
Please
shit. When
weigh
I'm
in.
reading a book and they're like, his like purple and pink cock, I'm like, what? Like, please don't describe it as like a Lisa Frank book. The prominent veins running beneath the velvety skin made her mouth water. I don't know. I get that penises are smooth, but I've never really thought that they were velvety. Mm,
Velvety is a very common word that I'm like, somebody in the, romance lore canon just decided that there are certain words like nipples, pebble, cocks are
And
velvety, and we just decided this.
that's okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess the sensation's pleasant. Maybe it's kind of like velvet, long and deep. So you got to focus on how far it reaches. Uh,
Especially in the back of your throat, yep.
Yeah, it definitely needs to choke you a little bit. Oh, yeah, actually, that is the bullet point underneath that. His long, beautiful cock sank so deep she swore she could feel him in her throat. Oh, never mind. That is like, I didn't think throat like during head. This is like if coming in through the vagina, you could get to the
Oh,
throat.
wow, that is very deep. He's just,
He's
performing a full body
he's a 3 foot long cock.
probe,
Yeah, 2 foot long, I guess.
just ramming it up her entire torso. Okay, good.
Hard, throbbing, pulsing, because you need to convey
Yep.
arousal and urgency. The head and the crown should be emphasized, especially good during oral or teasing. Oh, powerful, dominant, possessive, like I don't know,
So
beautiful,
then that sort of
aesthetic.
depends which, subgenre you're in subgenre you're in for some of these.
So this cock, a perfect, brutal weapon. Uh,
Oh, wow, I feel like weaponry language is a big one, especially in
yeah,
romantasy,
his
you have
massive
a
cock
sword in the
speared
sheath.
into her like a
Yeah.
fisherman.
If you're getting speared, I would like to see somebody use the word harpoon. I would like
I
a
wouldn't
Moby
mind
Dick
being
themed smut.
harpooned.
Yeah, I wanna see a Moby
Mm.
Dick themed smut where it's a whaler and a SeaWorld trainer, and he just harpoons her with his giant dick. Let's see some creativity there.
Oh my
Which that was
gosh.
where I went with my prompts. I tried Claude, per the suggestion that Claude has maybe more nuance, creativity, human connection, and Grok is filthier. I tried both with the same prompt. Write me like a 2 to 3 sentence synopsis idea for a romance novel. I want it to be super creative, something that's never been written before. It can be on the smutty side. So Claude came up with book premises that I'm like, these are creative, bordering on insane, such as Last Call at the End of the World. A cynical bartender at a 24-hour diner discovers her newest regular is a death deity who has been quietly collecting souls for millennia, but has never been once been asked how he's doing. Over terrible coffee and 3 a.m. confessions, she becomes the first mortal he's ever wanted to keep, which is a problem because he owns her expiration date. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, I do think it's a little bit like Matthew Haig, like the Midnight Library and stuff is where it's mining some of these things from, but this seems like it's so creative that I'm not sure. There's a fermentation theory. This sounds a little Hallmark movie-y. A fiercely competitive kimchi maker and a smug French sourdough artisan are forced to share a commercial kitchen for 6 months after their landlord converts the building. The hate is loud, the arguments are filthy, and somewhere between her gochugaru and his levain starter, they discover that the things worth waiting for, bread, ferment, love, all require heat and time. That one seems like a quirky plot for a Hallmark movie. And then another one that I felt like was just, what? Is the understudy of everything. A professional understudy who has spent 15 years playing every role except the lead falls into a fake relationship with the infuriatingly magnetic lead actor she covers until the lines between performance and reality dissolve entirely and she realizes she's been understudying her own life. The problem is he's been watching her the whole time and he never wanted anyone else in the part.
I
I
mean,
truly don't understand what that means, and also, I when I first read this, I was like, "Oh, cute, it's a woman on woman, like, lesbian sapphic romance,"
no.
because she's the understudy for the part, but it's like the
No,
man is playing the part, but she's the understudy?
thought it was like the male is the leading part for the male, and she's talking about the understudy for the female lady, but who am I to get in the way of,
No,
like,
it
your
says
AI
she falls
generated
into
summaries?
a fake relationship with the infuriatingly magnetic lead actor she covers.
Oh.
And
Huh.
then she's been understudying for her own life, and he's been watching her the whole time, and he never wanted anyone else in the part. I was like, "Is this a Truman Show romance?" When you have AI write things, it's just that's not real, that can't even be a thing. Um,
Yeah,
anyway, let so
AI generated a super cool, romantasy summary for me. I thought that it was super
uh-huh.
fun, but, like, would I have the skills and the brain to take that all the places that it needed to go? Like, absolutely not. I've seen this discourse on Threads before, and, I don't know if it was an author or somebody who had the desire to be an author, but she's like, "Well, you don't understand. Like, I've always had these amazing stories in my head, and I didn't get how to put them into paper, down in paper, and now AI can help me put them on paper because I've had these like really big visions in my head." And other authors push back that they're like, well, the whole thing that makes you an author is that you are
Is
able
writing.
to take what is
Yeah.
in your head and put it on paper. So if you are not able to, then you're actually just stealing how other people were able to do it. I don't, it's just like, I think it just gets so sticky so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I totally agree, with that, that it is like I mean, it's the same thing as, like, you have that friend always that, like, has a bunch of ideas for a business, like, "What if I had, like, a food truck outside of the dispensary and we sold, like, cookies?" And it's like, I have a bunch I get high and get a bunch of business ideas too, but, like, we all
Actually
do
doing
that.
it and taking the big
Yeah, but
risk
it's
to
like
do it and all
yeah, if you
that.
actually,
Yeah.
like, invest it and work out the kinks and do the day-to-day of it, then, like, that is impressive, but, like, we all have a bunch of bullshit ideas, so I do totally agree. So, let me share with you a couple of my Grok written prompts, which are definitely, smuttier just by nature, and I gave them the exact same prompt. So I do see what is her name? The author,
Coral heart.
Coral
Though
Heart.
she has a
This is the first one that Grok spat out for me. I just thought of you because it's called the knot theory. So I think that this is a knotting themed one. In a near future where humans have begun forming permanent quantum knots with their soulmates, literally glowing sentient bonds that tighten during arousal and force shared sensations, a reclusive mathematician discovers her knot forms with her chaotic nemesis, a disgraced erotic knot artist who sculpts living rope installations that double as pleasure devices. As their bond begins rewriting their bodies to crave each other's specific kinks, including public edging rituals and synchronized orgasms during lectures, they must solve an impossible theorem. can love survive when every climax is mathematically inevitable and politically scandalous? Like,
Okay, so I kind of loved elements of that, and then it got weird. Like,
yeah.
when you started off, I didn't think it was a bad plot, but I don't know, like, why they were climaxing during class. Even if it
Yeah, I mean,
there is a
I
basis
see.
for it, I just don't think it had to happen.
Well, I also think you can, like, trace back to where elements of it come from because I think, like, the sense of there being a bond is, like, such a romantasy thing of, like, the bond is and like, we were talking about Sarah J. Maas before, like, isn't that in her books where there's, like, the bond is actually something that they
Mating
can actually
bond,
sense
yes.
yeah, as, like, this, like, golden cord that it comes between them, so I feel like I can see where Grok is stealing all these individual ideas from, but the disgraced erotic knot artist. I do want to know more, but I'm also afraid.
Yeah, again, I don't hate it, but just continuing on, like, to actually form it into a book, it's very hard to believe that Grok could do this without somebody just nonstop inputting all these things to make it a story that people wanna read and that does use these different tropes or things commonly
Yeah,
used in
absolutely. Like, I
romantasy
think
in a
it's
way.
one thing to come up with some ideas. It's like the person who, yeah, is like, "Oh, I have all these great ideas and I can use AI to finally write them." And it's like, well, the challenge is in the writing, not coming up with the ideas. But I do want to see Chuck Tingle or like one of our favorite unhinged writers just like go to town on some of these.
Okay. We did ask Grok to create a book summary based off of what Emily Weinstein thinks that romantasy, or as she likes to call it, romastasy, is, which is,
Which if you missed our episode where we, discussed that at some point, it was a author who has recently had a memoir published, decided to just go off on romastasy as, like, being a crappy genre, and then when somebody merely corrected the spelling, she just went off on a total rant. "Oh, you guys with all your, like, unicorn fuckers, dragon fellatio, smut," and she used the R word and basically got canceled by a bunch of people. But a lot of people's response was like, to be honest, I've never really read anything about a unicorn filleting a dragon and rainbow unicorn jizz and stuff. So it did occur to us as co-hosts that obviously this is a gap in the canon, and we must try that out as a final prompt to see if we can
yeah.
get anything good from it.
So the title is Sparkle Come and the Dragon's Delegator in in the glittering kingdom of Eurasiana, where every mountain is phallic and every river flows with aphrodisiac nectar. Lyra Star Whisper is a plucky half unicorn, half fae secretary to the most arrogant dragon shifter warlord in the realm, Lord
I
Dragon
am also confused of
Bossfire.
what a half unicorn, half
Don't
fae
ask
is because
questions.
a unicorn's already like a half horse, half magical horn. Go on, sorry.
So
This is
he
beautiful.
is 7'2" of rippling obsidian scales, molten gold eyes, and a cock that literally sparkles when he's aroused. The only way to recharge his ancient dragon magic is through ritualistic unicorn interfacing. Lyra accidentally walks in on Draven mid-transformation, and she gets blasted in the face full of iridescent unicorn jizz. So he also has a half unicorn heritage, which makes it extra sparkly and mildly hallucinogenic.
Of
And
course.
instead of being horrified, it awakens her latent powers. She can now levitate using only her nipples, and her pussy glows like a rainbow disco ball when she's horny. I wouldn't mind if my pussy glowed like a rainbow disco ball.
I
Oh my
do need
gosh.
to see the fan art for this book too. Go on.
It's wonderful. So she's then forced to become his official dragon delegator, meaning that she must ride his massive ribbed glowing dragon cock at least twice per chapter to prevent him from turning into a grumpy, impotent lizard. Their bonding sessions involve sparkly cum that tastes like cotton candy and makes her orgasm for 45 minutes straight, dragon nodding that causes magical
I was just
fireworks.
gonna ask if there was gonna be nodding. Did you tell Grok to
There's
include
not just
nodding or Grok
I
just
did not
knew?
even mention nodding, and dragon nodding that causes magical fireworks to shoot out of her vagina. A magical dildo forged from a fallen star that sings filthy compliments. Unicorn horn nipple clamps that vibrate in ancient draconic, and a sacred mating pool where they fuck while floating and surrounded by glowing sentient tentacles that are just there to help. They
She
then
can already
battle the evil
levitate using
cum
her
hoarder
nipples.
queen. So it's pretty good. And then they discover that true love can only be sealed when Lyra lets Draven ejaculate pure starlight directly into her womb while she's in full unicorn form. The tagline is, "She came for the paperwork, she stayed for the sparkling dragon dick and the mandatory weekly unicorn fucking to save the realm." It features 87 separate sex scenes, 0 plot between chapters 4 to 19. A sentient magical butt plug with anxiety.
Wait, I'm sorry, what's the magical butt plug?
It's a sentient magical butt plug that has anxiety. And enough
We can't
glittery
read this without laughing, so we're gonna have to publish it on our Threads page
yeah.
and tag Emily
Enough
Weinstein.
glittery
If only she hadn't
enough
gotten off of Threads.
and enough glittery bodily fluids to redecorate an entire ballroom. Perfect for fans of I Need My Romantasy to make 0 sense and involve as many glowing genital secretions as physically possible. Okay, well, that was wonderful. I'm just gonna tell
That was
Grok,
so beautiful.
you did a great job,
Grok,
Grok.
good
Yeah.
job. Aside from being
Thank
somewhat
you. This
racist,
means a
Grok,
lot.
writes some amazing smut outlines. And now we're calling
Like,
out to the smut author community. We need a truly talented artist to bring this vision to life. We can't pay
like,
you, but
honestly,
we can spread the word
I
on Kindle Unlimited.
I now get why there's temptation to publish an AI book on Kindle Unlimited because I feel like we could really make a killing off of our Dragon Delegator and Sparkle Cum book. Well, I think that we've shown that AI don't use AI to fully just go wild on your books, but that it does have some wisdom. Maybe
We
use it
can,
for sparkly cum unicorns.
if you don't have any
Hmm.
mushrooms or bath salts to do before you do your plot outlining, then I don't know, just grok, I guess.
Just go wild.
But
Well,
what we do
thank you
not
for
recommend it for
listening.
is trying to write 200 books of mediocrity in 1 year. Instead, jump off.
Yeah, please do
Yeah.
not do what Curl Heart did, but I don't know. If you want to use it to bounce crazy ideas off for a little bit while you're thinking of them, that doesn't seem too bad, especially because I'm now kind of obsessed with our unicorn saga. Okay, well, it has been great talking to you as always, SJ. Just wait, the sentient butt plug with anxiety.
I love that it
Why
has
does a butt plug have anxiety? I guess it's because it's, stuck up somebody's ass. Okay, well, great talking to you, and thank you for listening. Bye.